Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to talk about something a little bit more sensitive than I've maybe really spoken about before on my channel, maybe other than the dyslexia video, but hey. And that is surviving the toddler stage. It's not easy, it's actually pretty hard, and it's stressful, and it doesn't come with a manual or instructions or a guide or anything. It's just something that you have to live, and every child is different, but one thing's guaranteed is that the toddler stage can be one of the trickiest stages of them all. Or at least you think it is, just wait till they hit teenage years. I'm not going to claim in any shape or form that I am perfect or that I have it down to a T, but I do have some great ways for just getting through the really hard days, and there's things that we can do as parents that really do just help us through the days where we feel like quitting. I usually regard myself as a very positive and upbeat person, but I'm not gonna lie, I had a really bad day yesterday. Leo got a hold of my camera, I didn't handle the situation very well, and things escalated to the point where my camera now has chip paint on it. So yeah, it wasn't fun, but I can see how it was my kind of fault and that there was ways I could have handled it better. But it kind of made me think about the things that I do that do work and the things that I do that don't work. So it made me want to make a video to you because you're probably watching this on your hardest of days with your toddler. Number one thing that you need to tell yourself is it's not going to last forever. Whenever I think of the future, I always think about Leo being the same age that he is now, but that's actually not the case. He's gonna grow up and these days are gonna be over. And one day I will miss when he was a small and annoying little creature that bugged me for random things all the time. When I think back to some of the things that have stressed me out in the past, I actually laugh because it's actually really funny. You don't realise it at the time and it may be really stressful at that very moment, but later on, like a few months later, you will talk about it and you will laugh. Like, do you remember when Leo did this? And it's a fact. So try and see the funny side, even if it's hard. Like, Leo got a hold of our DVDs and he had them all out and he even broke a couple and snapped them in half. When we caught him, he was like a thief that had just been caught. He was like standing with his hands up, and at that very moment we were a bit annoyed because he had managed to break our DVD collection. But it was so funny when we think back about it now. What I've started to do is when Leo is like hitting those high moments, I will just take myself out of the room and I will go and I will count to 10, I'll do some deep breaths, and I will remind myself of all of what I just said to you a minute ago. How I managed to get Leo to do the things that I want him to do, and this is reverse psychology. Leo to go and get me a nappy, I will say, Leo, I'm going to go get a nappy. And he knows that that's his job. So he will be like, no, I'll do it. And that makes it easier for me to change his bum, because if I don't do that, one, he'll have a tantrum if I do just get the nappy. And two, he will run and hide in his tent, which he knows I won't go in because of the chance there's a spider in there. There's been 2 occasions where there's been a spider in that tent, and he has got clever and he knows that mummy will not come in this tent, so I can hide in here and she's not going to get me. So instead, I'll be like, Leo, can you help mummy get the nappy? And if he doesn't, and if he goes to run in his tent, I'll say, okay then, mummy's gonna go get the nappy now. And he'll be like, oh, how dare she? That's my job. And he will go and do it for me. And that means he's playing ball with me and he's being helpful. One thing that's really apparent with Leo is he loves to have a job and he loves to have some responsibility. I find that this helps with tantrums. The real thing is toddlers just want to mimic and they really want to help. And that's something that just comes naturally to them, is they love to be praised, and if they get used to the good and the praise, then they'll be less likely wanting to do the bad, because they know that they'll get more good attention than they would if they got bad attention. Which leads me to my next point of, I know it's really hard when they do something bad, but if you feed attention to it, they're gonna do it again because they know that it gets a reaction. So I try my hardest to try and ignore the bad behavior, and then when he does something really good, I'll be over the top and be very like enthusiastic. This is obviously dangerous to do on a big basis, but it works if you're trying to reprogram that I'm not responding to naughty, but I will respond to positive. And this works for Leo a lot. He'll be like, oh, okay, so if I go get mummy this, she'll be really proud. And he'll just run around the house randomly bringing me things because he knows that I will smile and I will be saying thank you. And it just seems to make things a bit easier for us. So when it comes to eating dinner, some of the things I'll say to Leo is, if I'm feeding him because he doesn't want to feed himself, is, do you want some meat or do you want some veg or do you want some pasta? And I will just continuously do this until the plate is empty. So I'll just give him the option, and that way, instead of me saying, Leo, eat your dinner, and trying to feed him and he's not opening his mouth, I'm giving him the option and the freedom of choice. So he will go, oh, I'm getting an option, okay, I want to eat some pasta. And then he will accept the fact that I'm feeding him and open his mouth for me. So it does mean I'm constantly asking him the same question, but he loves the fact that he has a little bit of control in his life, because that's another thing about toddlers. They do like to have a bit of control, as they are a very confined age. You know, they have the mentality to do things, but they don't quite have the bodies, and there's a lot of things we do for them that they want to do, but they're not very good at it. But we've still got to give them the chance to. One of the things I love to do is getting Leo up in his high chair if I really need that moment of peace and know that he's somewhere safe. So I either do this with a snack, with an apples or some berries. His favourite snacks are fruit. He doesn't really get anything else other than fruit and maybe some plain yogurt. But then moving on from that is activities that you can do in a high chair, like kinetic sand or Play-Doh. We can colour in his high chair. It means that he's up and off the floor and I can go and do something and just de-stress or whatever I need to do. Normally I'll have a cup of tea and play a game on my phone just for like 5 minutes, just to be a bit human again. My biggest thing I've noticed is that, especially with lockdown, the more that your child, and toddler especially, is in the house, the more built up energy they have, which means the more naughty they will be, because they don't understand themselves. But you know yourself what cabin fever feels like. You're itching to do something, you don't know what, you just don't feel right. Well, children get that as well. They've got so much energy to use throughout the day, and if they don't use it, it just turns into a build-up, which can then lead to tantrums, frustration, naughtiness, doing things they wouldn't normally do, and just, I'm right being a 2-year-old. So we've started to try and get out at least every single day, if the weather allows it, of course. If not, we'll try and do something fun around the house, like throwing a ball to each other to try and just burn a bit of that energy. A lot of the times we try and turn our sofas into a bit of a soft play, and you can jump off of them and onto them and have fun. But to be honest, the best way to do this is just take them out and let them run free. Leo loves to just run. We'll be out walking and he'll just be like, run, run, run. He loves to run and he just wants to run, 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 run. We end up running around the woods a lot of the time, but that just burns his energy and he feels so much better, and he's so good afterwards. When we get home, he goes to sleep easier, he eats his dinner better, he just wants to be cuddly, and it's like he's finally got to release the energy that has been built up over the past few days, especially when it's been rainy. And living in Scotland, it rains a heck of a lot. There's nothing worse than a bored toddler, so lots of planned activities. Every day I will try and make a list of things that he might want to do. So we'll maybe start off in the morning with puzzles, then in the afternoon it will be cars, and then we will move on to the nighttime thing where it might be stories, or it might be playing with his house, or having a teddy bear picnic. That we try and keep a schedule and a plan to keep things fresh. We try to avoid screens in this house, but sometimes, on the most rarest of occasions, we'll let Leo watch a little bit of something educational. And of course, when we're not on lockdown, a great way to just really help yourself and your child out is to see family. Of course, this isn't really an option right now. We have had a few meetups in the bubbles and meeting out in public, but instead we've been video calling, and Leo gets so excited to see his grandparents. The other night there, my dad read him a story through WhatsApp chat, and Leo really enjoyed listening to it. When lockdown isn't happening, I would often go to the museum. I would use the libraries because you can just look at books and have fun. It's a different thing. And I would use the parks as well, but you can't currently do that as well. So there's so many things that lockdown's really restricted, which has made it a whole lot more difficult to deal with the toddler stage. You can avoid a tantrum with how you respond. So it doesn't always work, but when Leo's feeling really, really stressed, I normally get down to his level and I'll say, hey, what is it you're trying to do? And he'll be showing frustration at something, either a shoe or a toy, something that's not doing that he wants it to do. And we'll have a look at it together, and I will try and help him find a solution. Often if he's a bit tired, there's maybe not a solution because he's expecting a toy that's not bendable to bend or something silly like that. But it's just really being there and letting them know that you're there, and it just kind of helps with the tantrums of being there. But one thing we've been doing recently is walking hand in hand along the hallway to the front door. We then both put our hands on the front door and we have a cuddle, and when from then it's all forgotten about and we go on with the rest of the day. This is working really, really well for us because Leo's then realising that what he has just had a tantrum about, or if he's done something, it has been forgiven. I remember being a kid and feeling really, really guilty and never knowing if I've truly been forgiven. So I want him to feel like by doing this, this is the forgiveness that he needs, and he no longer has to feel heavy-hearted about something he may have done. I don't know, maybe that's overthinking it a little bit, but I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video and that it helped you in your most stressful of day, and I wish you all the best, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys!